Hey, fun people! Welcome back to Everything Aja. If you're new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Aja, and let me just tell you a little bit about myself and what brings you here on this channel. Last night, we kicked off the big workshop, How to Teach Reading Without Teacher Burnout. So if you missed it, I'm going to kind of catch you up a little bit on today, and feel free to drop any questions you have. This is like a question and answer thing. I've opened the doors officially to my program, Teaching by Design, and I know some people may have questions. And so this is your time to ask questions live. But let me tell you just a little bit about myself. Um, First, I'm sorry, slides a little everywhere. Okay, let's get that together, right? Let's get that together really quick, and then I can introduce myself. Introduce yourself down below in the chat box. I want to know about you the same way I'm sharing a little bit about myself. So, who am I? I'm an experienced curriculum specialist. I'm a former elementary administrator, meaning that I've served on the administration team for about 6 years at an elementary school. I was over all teaching and learning from pre-K all the way through fifth grade. All the subject areas, everything was all me. Currently, I'm an educational consultant who works directly with teachers and even homeschool parents on teaching reading without being overwhelmed, without experiencing teacher burnout, and making their reading instruction and all the pieces that fall in their reading instruction very simple and systematic. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. So glad to see you on today. Um, I have over a decade worth of experience in early childhood. Most of my career, I've taught pre-K and fifth grade. I even have some middle grades experience. I've kind of been a little everywhere, even taught technology. A little bit about my educational background is I have my specialist degree in early childhood, so I have my bachelor's, my master's, and my specialist in early childhood education. I have a reading endorsement. I'm certified in diagnosing and correcting mathematics and reading behaviors. And I'm also Orton Gillingham Orphonics trained. So that's a little bit about myself. Introduce yourself down below in the chat box. I love getting to know you guys. I just love getting to know you guys. So let's talk about um really why it is that you are here and what brings you here. So I want to ask you some questions and drop it down below in the chat box if you say yes to any of these. Do any of these sound familiar? Are you constantly receiving new incentives or initiatives from your administration and you're on the verge of being burnt out? You feel like you've exhausted all of your personal and professional resources in order to do the job. Is your classroom filled with students reading below grade level? Do you frequently feel confused or stuck when it comes to how to actually help your struggling students or your struggling child? When you actually teach reading, do you feel like you are just quote unquote doing it wrong? Are you overwhelmed and just want teaching to be simple? Do you spend hours of time per week looking up lessons that never actually fit the needs of your children? And does your building lack the resources and you have exhausted all of your time and energy? Let me know down below in the chat box if you said yes to any of those. I want you to know that you are in the right place. So why is now the best time to make a change? Well, this is the best time to make a change because it's the brand new year. And a new year is the best time to set new systems in place so that you can be proactive this year instead of reactive. In fact, you could eliminate most of the stress, overwhelm, and burnout that you may have experienced last year simply by being proactive this year. And so I want to just go over some facts for with you really quick because this understanding the importance and the urgency, you'll understand that you are not in this thing by yourself. 60% of kids are considered not ready to start kindergarten. 2 out of every 10 children enter kindergarten with skills 2 or 3 years lower than their grade level. Another 2 out of every 10 children start school with at least a 1 year disadvantage. And so this means that children that are entering kindergarten are already 60% of the kids are already 1 to 3 years behind grade level, which is crazy. And out of that, students that are typically behind 1 year can only make about 1 year's worth of progress at each grade level. And so this means that they're constantly behind their classmates, making them more likely to fail and repeat grades. But like Trump, so many people say it'll go away at some point, that gap is going to close and we're not going to experience this anymore. And like we all know, that is a total unrealistic way to look at this. In fact, 34% of students are below basic reading level by the time they're in the fourth grade. Another 31% are below proficient reading level. And proficient reading level is where we actually want our children to be. And illiteracy is a major factor when it comes to high school graduation. In fact, students, remember we talked about kindergarten? Students that are behind typically, baby, not right now. Students, sorry, look, motherhood calls, and you know not to interrupt me, Kendall. Students that are behind when they start kindergarten make up the largest portion of high school dropouts, making them only have a less than 12% chance of actually attending college. No, you're not. When you talk about ethnicity and ethnicity's role in this, ethnicity does have a role. In fact, about 71% of Black fourth grade children scored below reading level compared to the 34% of Caucasian or white students. And when you just think about kids enjoying reading for fun, in fact, African American children have enjoy reading the least amount. That compared to all the other ethnicities, our children, they're not interested in just reading. And so you might be saying, okay, help anybody help. Can somebody help? Well, teachers have been trying to close this gap for years. In fact, the average teacher spends 7 hours per week researching and preparing for instructional resources, and another 5 years actually creating those instructional resources. So I started doing the math. I started, calculating 12 hours per week. There's 4 weeks per month. There's 10 months per school year. And the average teacher teaches about 30 years. And that gave me over 14,400 of hours of wasted time just planning for lessons. Do you know how much time that is? About 600 days, which is about 2 years. So the average teacher spends about 2 years of their life simply planning for lessons. And so I want you to think, what would you do with all that extra time back into your life? If you took that time and put it back into your life, what would you do? Well, you might be saying, okay, so yeah, that's crazy. If I shouldn't be preparing lessons for my children, well, what should I be doing then? Well, this is where you are now, continuing this cycle of spending all of this time preparing for lessons, and this is where you want to be, free, having a life that is worth living, not just going day to day, but actually enjoying life and enjoying the freedom that life entails. And here's your path. The issue is you can do some shortcuts, try everything you want to try, but it's still going to lead to burnout and low growth in children unless you have guidance, somebody that has been there, somebody that has done that, and somebody that knows exactly how to go from your point A to your point B. And so this is why I'm here today. And this is why I'm so passionate about helping teachers and parents stop wasting time being frustrated with teaching and start being strategic and systematic without the same pain, struggle, or overwhelm I see so many teachers and parents go through. But why me? Why me? Well, let me just share with you my story. This was the 7-year-old version of me. Hey, girl. And I never forget it like it was yesterday. I was in first grade. In fact, we were the guinea pigs. Sight words had just been wrote out, and we were taught to read based on memorizing words. And so for the most part that worked, and I really enjoyed reading. Like reading was my thing, honey. And I was literally reading based on memorization. Well, that worked until middle school. By the time I hit middle school, everything changed for me. Partly because the teachers made you do popcorn reading, and the words that I was expected to read in the textbook were no longer sight words. They were no longer words that I had memorized at the top of my head. Instead, I had to learn how to sound them out. And my mom would always say, sound it out, sound it out. Well, I didn't know how to sound it out. I had no idea how to sound it out. How do you sound this out? I don't know. And so I began to then hate reading. I became the quote unquote math girl, and reading was so miserable for me. And so I started to start creating my own systems of how to read unknown words and spell. And I created my own way of reading. And for the most part, it worked. I was able to graduate college with honors. And I never forget when I was student teaching, I got my first student teaching job. And I was teaching first grade, but 7 year olds in first grade. And we were using a basal reading program. And that pretty much means that all of my lessons were scripted. I didn't have to do anything but read the book. And I would read the book, and the kids would learn, and I was learning with the kids. We were all learning together, right? And literally while that was happening, I started learning how to read. I was like, whoa, I never knew about vowel, consonant, vowel. I never knew about magic E. I was like, what is this? So I'm learning with these kids now. Now I'm older, and now I know some things. Now I'm like, oh, okay, I never knew that this was like that. And so there I was, and I went to teach pre-K for a few years, but then I received my first full-time fifth grade position in a public school setting. So it was totally different than what I was doing in private settings. And here I was teaching fifth grade, and I was like, whoa, thrown into I literally went from pre-K to fifth grade. Like, y'all could only imagine the learning curve in that. And here I was, trying to do what I thought I knew best. I felt like a first year teacher all over again. And good morning, good morning, good morning for Karte. He said, good morning. So glad to see you on today. And so here I was teaching fifth grade, and I remember my assistant principal came, and she only saw me do a 10-minute reading lesson. And then she goes, yep, you're teaching reading next year. And I was like, what do you mean I'm teaching reading next year? Wait, pause. I'm the math girl, not the reading girl, the math girl. She was like, nope, that lesson was amazing. You're teaching reading. So here I was, my second year teaching, and I'm teaching reading. And I was terrified. And I never forget the first week of school, you do like the diagnostic test where you test all the kids and see where they are. And I was teaching fifth grade, but yet I had an EIP classroom, which means all my kids were in the early intervention program. I didn't even quite understand what that meant at the time until I received their scores. First week of school. And we took the STAR diagnostics. Do I have anybody take STAR? We were taking STAR back then. And all my kids were reading on a kindergarten, first grade, second grade reading level. But yet we were in fifth grade. And I was like, wait. This is like drastically behind grade level. Like, I'm teaching in the fifth grade, but yet they're reading on kindergarten, first grade level. And I just looked, and I just stood there, and all I could see was little miniature versions of myself, like little versions of me, all of these struggling children being passed along year after year after year. And I knew then I had to do something, and I had to figure out a way to help these kids close in this gap so that they wouldn't become me, so they wouldn't be 20 years old learning how to decode and break down unknown words. I didn't want them to be versions of myself going through the same struggles that I went through in reading. And so I did everything possible to close in those gaps. And at the end of that year, my assistant principal and principal, we were in a faculty meeting, and they told me that 100% of my children passed the state standardized test. Mind you, that was written on a fifth grade reading level, yet my kids were reading on a first grade reading level back in August. And so they did the drastic change, but yet I was so burnt out doing it. Every day I was at that school. I mean, y'all just don't know. To the little, anybody else school have like a lot of bugs. at night. It's like once the kids leave, the bugs just start crawling. If you're there too long, man, it was like all over the floor, right? It was field day. And that was me every single day. And I was like, how can I make this drastic growth? I can't be burned out. I ended up losing myself this year because I was pouring out so much of myself to my classroom and to my children. I could not imagine if I was married and had children back then because I lost myself. I was so proud of the growth that I did with my children, but I lost myself in the process. And so after that year, I started really perfecting how to close in learning gaps using systems and this automatic way of teaching reading. And it worked. And I became known as the fun teacher. So year after year after year after that, I was closing in gaps and doing so in a very systematic way. And that's why I'm here today, because I learned that it was bigger than me. It was bigger than my classroom. The what I was facing was bigger than that one school, but I was facing a system meant to keep children that look like me and read like me behind and just pass them along year after year after year. And so now I knew that I had to make the change, and the change had to start with me. And so this has led me to where I am now, in the program that I've created that allows not only the little miniature version of myself learn how to read in a very fun and productive way, but it also helps that teacher version of me that was burned out and overwhelmed. It helps them to be able to make a difference while also creating a life that they enjoy and that they love. So that's a little bit about my background. And now you're like, okay, well, what is this program? I want to know, what is this program? Well, let me just tell you. You said this is wonderful, Aja. We need this. Yes. Like I'm saying, like, so many teachers, in order to make that growth, it's like you have to lose yourself. And now I know that you can have both, but it's we have to get out of that mindset that you have to choose. It's either you or them. No, you can have both. Awesome, awesome. So I want to share with you. I want you to just think about it really quick. What would you do if you had at least an extra 2 to 3 hours of free time per week? Like, if you were to get just, 2 to 3 extra hours of free time, what would you do with that time? What would you do with it? What would you do? Would it be self care? I know a lot of people said self care. It used to be family time. Family time, self care seem to be the main two. But I want you to like really internalize that for yourself. And I want you to know that it is possible. It is possible. In fact, Keisha here, for her main goal was her spending time with her children. She said, I'm tired of being burnt out. I feel like my children are getting the short end of the stick. She has two beautiful young little girls. And she said she was burnt out and actually contemplating leaving elementary altogether because the workload was too great. She was like, let me just go back to middle school. But now that she has systems in place, the same systems I'm talking about with you guys, she's able to not only stay in elementary school like she wanted to, but to also spend the family time that her children deserve for her to have. In fact, she emailed me. She said, hey, I feel like I am on the winning team now. Thank you so much. As she set systems in a place within her reading instructions, she said, hey, if I put in the work in, like you said, on the front end, then I can get all of that time on the back end. And so she's experiencing that extra 2 to 3 hours per week by having a system that runs on autopilot. You said family time. Hey, family time's a big one. Family time's a big one. And you might wonder, okay, so how do I get those 2 to 3 hours? How can I get that family time? He said self care and family time. There we go, self care and family time. And I feel like we need more of that. I wish we can have more than 2 to 3 hours, but let's just start off with a goal of 2 to 3 extra hours of time per week. Well, I want to share with you exactly how she was able to do it, and that is using the ARF framework. And this is a three-part method to create an engaging, time-saving reading lessons and activities without overworking, overthinking, or overexhausting your energy. I'm going to share with you the same program that I use to close in gaps and create a life I love, and my clients have used to close in gaps and create a life they love without experiencing teacher burnout. And of course, we love a good acronym. So, of course, the R framework is an acronym. A stands for automate, R stands for recreate, F stands for facilitate. Well, the automate phase just means that you have established, clear, realistic teaching systems and instructional practices. You have systems and routines set in place, and lesson planning for certain lessons only takes you about 3 minutes. This means that your lessons run on autopilot. This is important because learning becomes predictable and you start to build momentum towards learning. Your children will rise to your expectations and you don't have to spend time hours per week planning. When you start doing this, it will dramatically decrease your time doing lessons. Your behavior management will become easier simply because learning becomes predictable. And so children, they like order, they like discipline, they like knowing what's yet to come, the same way we like order. Come on now. And you'll also be able to spend your time towards other things. We said earlier, family time, self-care, family time. Well, when you have your reading instruction run on autopilot, you'll notice that all that time that you were spending on creating lessons can now be spent on doing your self-care, doing your family time. You don't think it's possible? Check out Chelsea. This is Chelsea. She's a fourth grade teacher and she's also a parent. And she hated reading. In fact, she was a math girl just like me, and she was terrified to teach reading. When she started working with me, she went to a new school, and now she had to teach reading. She was like, "Wait, I'm the reading teacher. What is going on?" And now she's actually the lead reading teacher, but yet she barely plans reading lessons. In fact, she took the reading technique and she had it run on autopilot. And within the close reading technique, that is simply when you read the same text over and over again, but you're reading it for different points. So you might read it for main idea, you might read it for vocabulary, but I showed her how to do it and she started implementing it. And her children were able to master grade level standards using the same routine. She didn't even have to do lesson plans because I taught her like how to do it. You only have to plan for it one time for the entire month, and you can plan for it literally in 5 minutes. Like, she was like, "What? And my kids are excelling? What?" Yes, I'm telling y'all. And she said the great thing is she received a level 4 on her evaluation because she has the highest reading scores in the fourth grade. And so she learned what it meant to truly have her instruction run on autopilot so she could spend more time with her son and have her students excel and create the life that she deserves. The next phase and this whole idea is the recreate phase. And this just pretty much means you're not starting from scratch. You're using what works and you're doubling down on that and removing what doesn't work. You have a list of go to resources, a bank of engaging reading activities and lessons, and you can create amazing and engaging standard based reading lessons without having to start from scratch. When you do this, you'll save time, you use what works and improve what doesn't, and this lessens the stress and overload. And when you start to do this, you'll start to get your extra time back for that self-care and family time. You'll have a bank of proven reading lessons to pull from, things that you already know work for your children. You'll be less stressed and you'll look like the professional, and you can just focus on engagement. You don't have to focus on creating the lessons. You're just focusing on getting your children excited and engaged in the lesson. This is Nehma, and she's a homeschool preschool parent. And for her, having this recreation phase allowed her to really focus in on engagement for her son. She was able to engage him. Her biggest struggle was he just did not want to learn. He didn't like to sit down. He was like, la la la, I just want to do me. And he was all over the place. And she was like, the moment where she started this whole recreation phase and taking the parts that he liked and reusing those for other lessons with other skills and removing the stuff he didn't like. She said it started working for her, and then it started to keep him engaged in activities, and this was the game changing moment for her. Well, the third secret I want to tell you about is the F in the R framework, which is facilitate. And this just means you have a bank of reading lessons where kids can actually teach themselves. You have lessons and activities that you can literally implement in seconds. You've already have pre-planned questions for engagement, and you can just guide children as they teach themselves. This is important because children become the leaders of their own learning experience. They can connect with the skills, and this is the key to reducing teaching fatigue and overwhelm. When you start doing this, you'll have a bank of engaging reading activities that correlate with the books and stuff you already have. You'll learn how to teach new ELA skills easier. And it says recall ELA skills, and recall ELA skills are basic things that just require kids to recall one answer. So, for example, what sound does the blend ST make? It makes this sound. There's only one correct answer to that. That is a basic recall skill. And then you'll be able to sit back as kids start to teach themselves. You'll have more time to do what you want to do. This is Janiece, and she's a kindergarten through fifth grade special needs teacher. In fact, she teaches sixth grade levels. And she says she now has designated times to teach new skills, review old skills, and allow opportunities for her students to actually master skills. This was the game changer for her. Game changer was what is her thing, right? Now, before working with me, she was the teacher that always felt like she needed more time. Because her children were on so many drastic reading levels, she felt like she just never had enough time. And what it was a lack of having systems in place that allowed her to really be the facilitator and take her kids even further. She wasn't able to do that because she was wasting all of her time trying to prepare for lessons instead of learning how to facilitate. And so with her new schedule, because that's the first thing we have to do is remove any roadblocks. Having that new schedule and with having the bank of ready-made hands-on activities that she could just facilitate was how she got her children not only to like reading but to also be motivated. And she as she implemented these engaging activities and implemented having a bank of activities and lessons that her children already enjoyed, she saw a drastic improvement in her children and even herself as she learned how to teach without feeling overwhelmed. And I was so excited for her, and I want these same results for you. So you might be on here or it may have be interested in teaching by design because of one of these reasons. The first reason is you just want a simple step-by-step instruction, like where people like me, I'm like, give me the directions on how to teach reading because you simply just do not know where to start. You want to spend more time with your family or your me time, because you feel like they're getting the short end of the stick, or yourself, you're getting the short end of the stick, but you're like, hey, the, I can't spend the time on the things that actually deserve my attention. You feel overwhelmed and you dread doing lessons simply because you know that there has to be an easier way. Like teaching should not be this complicated. You're tired of throwing away your money, your time, and your energy, and you're ready to make a change. You want guidance and accountability in order to know what to teach, when to teach, and how to teach so that you can just focus on how to make a difference. Imagine having a bank of lessons that are already primed for engagement. Imagine having a weekly lesson planning system that allows you to save hours of time per week. Imagine that extra 2 to 3 hours every single week for your family time, for your self care time. Imagine having schedules, routines, transitions, and management tools allowing you to be stress free. Imagine having simplicity and clarity, knowing what to teach, when to teach, how to teach. Imagine you being the expert of your curriculum. And if you don't know how to do something, if you're curious at how to do something, imagine having effective reading professional development at your fingertips, step by step tutorials and resources of how to do it. Man, like a on demand reading guide for you. Imagine not only your children hitting their goals, but surpassing their goals. And imagine being supported along the journey by a professional. Now, all of this can be yours. It doesn't have to be in your mind. In fact, everything that I've shared with you are not theories or ideas. All of these things are things that I have achieved and my clients have achieved in order to create learning environments that make teaching simple and systematic and engaging. I don't have any advantages or special skills. I just have a system that works. And if I can do it, I promise you, you can do it too. But today's the day. You have two choices. You can continue doing what you're doing. You'll run the risk of giving up because simply you're just too overwhelmed. You'll continue going on this hamster wheel of spending hours and hours of your time planning lessons that simply just don't work in the first place. Or you can fast track your results with our framework that we talked about and create an automatic reading system and have all these systems in set place in your classroom or your homeschool classroom and implement an easy and systematic rinse and repeat system designed to help you develop engaging standard-based lessons in little to no time while you prevent burnout. I want to introduce you to my baby, Teaching by Design. It is a simple step-by-step rinse and repeat teaching system for increasing engagement by increasing engaging stand by creating engaging standard-based lessons in minutes. This is how you increase reading achievement without burnout. Teaching by Design is the only self-care course and membership that helps teachers and even homeschool moms develop simple systems and practices so that you can increase reading achievement by creating engaging standard-based lessons in little to no time. It will give you step-by-step guidance on how to have an effective reading environment, how to know what to teach, when to teach, how to teach. It also offers monthly calls with additional monthly bonuses. So always keep you supported along the journey. You'll have all the plug and play templates and fill in the blank scripts that you'll ever need to making lessons simple and fun. Before Teaching by Design, you might feel overwhelmed or like Janiece said, there's never enough time. You may frequently get stuck. Your children may be reading grade levels behind. Your children hate when it's time to teach reading, and you have too many or not enough resources so that you end up sticking to what you already know. After Teaching by Design, teaching reading will become stress free. You'll have a healthy work life balance as you implement these teaching practices that run on autopilot, as you implement having a recreation phase that allows you to save hours of time planning, as you implement facilitating lessons, as you sit back and your children have student led activities. You'll finally experience the freedom that comes with being prepared and feeling like you're on top of things. Your children will exceed their academic goals and begin to love the art of reading. Now, there is a self custody course that walks you through this entire process. Module one is all about unblocking major roadblocks, just like I shared about Janiece. One of her biggest things that was holding her back was this. In fact, her schedule limited her to it. I have another client was the same way. And module one talks about the secret of getting rid of roadblocks and maximizing your instructional time so that you can become the facilitator. Module two, revealing the secrets to automaticity. This is that A in the R framework. It is the single most important factor to making learning run on autopilot so that you can take back your time. Module three is about discovering backwards design teaching. And this is where you learn the standard, how to create standard based lessons. Have you ever got to the end of the unit and you realize that your kids just bombed it because the activities that you did didn't align to the standard? Well, that won't happen if you're doing backwards design teaching. And so this is how you find out what to teach, when to teach, and how to teach, so that as you're implementing this rinse and repeat system, all of your lessons are aimed to actually get children to master the standard. Module four is about developing lessons with confidence, discovering how to increase rigor and differentiation so that engagement occurs automatically. Module five is about discovering the quickest way of planning and engaging activities with ease, without the stress and without the overwhelm. Module six is about developing ongoing engagement, and it is the sneaky way to keep children engaged even while you plan activities with ease. In addition to the 6 module course, you'll also be given a step-by-step interactive read aloud training. This is the training, y'all, that gets children to fall in love with reading. Every single time people leave this training, they're like, man, they love, my kids love it. It's because I teach them how to make reading engaging through this interactive read aloud training. In addition to that, you'll also receive monthly reading professional development trainings every single month. You'll get on demand reading trainings that fit your needs, and you'll be able to have that on time feedback and instruction. I always like to do interactive professional developments. For Kurt Say knows down below in the chat box, man, you're gonna come on there, you're gonna be able to participate. I believe in allowing you guys to really master things. I don't just like let people leave without knowing in my heart that they've mastered the skill that we've learned about. So they're very interactive reading professional development trainings that you probably have never had like that done before. When you finish the course, of course, you get a 4-hour professional development certificate stating that you did go through this course and learn how to create standard-based lessons. And you also get 25 done for you templates and worksheets. These are include but are not limited to wins journals, lesson plans, templates, daily schedules, no matter if you are a full-time teacher, if you're a homeschool teacher, or even if you are a working homeschool mom, like me. That's what I do. I work all day with my business, and then I do homeschool with my daughter. For Kerte said, your workshops are great. Yeah, ooh, ooh, ooh. I love it. I love it. Aren't they so interactive? I'm like, I try to make them as interactive as I possibly can because I believe in mastery. And that's really how I was even in the classroom. Like, I believe in mastery. And so I don't, like, I'm the same way with y'all. Also, kindergarten through 5th grade reading and math standards. You'll have like a week at the glance lesson plan, plug and play templates, common core sequence. You also have kindergarten through 5th grade mastery of standards checklist, standards broken down, go to lesson plan and resource guide, call and response management systems, everything else. Mimi said, yes, they are. Thumbs up. Very interactive. Thanks so much for those. And then remember that bank of reading lessons that I talked about in the facilitating and the recreation phase. Well, I'm giving it to you. You'll also have facilitating activities. You'll have a bank of them that you can use for any standard. You also have math advancing questions. Wait, Aja, you told me that this was about reading. Yes, and because the ARFA framework is so effective, you can use this framework in reading and math. And so with the course is designed for both subject areas because I'm helping you create the life you love, but our monthly trainings are simply on reading because reading is a lot more complex than math. And then you also get assessing and guiding questions. You have over 60 quick and easy engaging activities that you can use for any standard. You also have plug and play comprehension questions and converting worksheets into engaging activities. Now, you also have the opportunity to join this program right now. The doors are officially open. I know I announced it last night. Whoop, whoop, whoop. The doors are open. The value of the reading trainings, the workshop, the templates, the video tutorials, and the course sold separately is easily over $10,000. For an all-inclusive done-for-you program like this, it's about $3,500. But I wanted to make it affordable because I really wanted to help as many people that are like me as possible. That teacher that is burned out, but also cares about providing high quality instruction for that student that was just like me, that was struggling learning how to read. And so, for less than a cup of coffee, in fact, for less than half of a cup of coffee a day, you can have Teaching by Design program. In fact, it's worth over $6,000, which is about $500 per month. But I'm not going to charge you $500 per month. In fact, I'm only charging you $37 per month. And if you want to save even more money, if you buy 10 months, then you get 2 months free. So you can save more money by doing the yearly access. This is over 30% off. But I want to throw in some bonuses and keep the party going. Well, in addition to the monthly reading professional developments, we will also be given 2 monthly interactive support calls. And these are the calls that support you along the journey. One is about creating the life you love as we fellowship and network with other like-minded peers. You get to work with other people in the program and just get to know them. It's called like you're like, have you ever done like a sip and paint? It's like a talk and paint. You can sip your wine and talk to each other, but you have that support call of talking to other peers that can help you out. In addition to that, you also will have a Q&A call where I answer all of your questions and any issues that you are experiencing that month. In addition to that, you would then have the entire vault of reading trainings. Remember when I said you don't know how to do something, you have step-by-step tutorials on how to do it? Well, this is your entire vault of reading trainings. They're ready to go. And my reading trainings, as for Kurt, they said, she was like, they are great. They not only come with the steps, but also all of the materials you need to implement it in your classroom. So we have reading fluency, guided reading, guided practice strategy, the whole shebang, using data, you name it, it is there for you. Um, Hold on, I see a question. Hold on one second. Finish these and answer the question. In addition, you also get new monthly digital products and teaching tools. So every single month you get new monthly products, new monthly tools, and you can easily implement them. These are things that you don't have to implement. I mean, you don't have to do anything. So there are games. There we also have writing prompts. We've done holiday writing prompts. We've done holiday games. Every single month, there are new exciting. It's almost like Christmas every month. You get new games to use with your children that are already done. And then you also get 10% off of all physical products. But I also want to tell you that if you upgrade, you can have a curriculum specialist, i.e., me, walk you through this entire process, hold your hand along the way. For those that just need that extra one on one support, like me, because this is me, then you have that option as well. In fact, teaching by design, you will get all of the courses, the course, the bonuses, everything we've mentioned before, but you will also get monthly one on one consultation calls as well. And you some of those calls are actually customizable, meaning they are made to fit your individual needs, and they're also made to help you walk you through this process. So we can create your ideal teaching schedule. That was that first roadblock that can keep you behind. Well, we could do it for you. I will literally sit there and create your own schedule that fits your needs. Create a bank of read aloud lessons using the books that you already have. Co-plan engaging lessons that actually fit your needs. Create differentiated, rigorous lessons. We can co-plan, customize independent lessons for your children, develop incentives that work for your needs. We can even create your own teacher website. I've done that with some clients. Create your own classroom in Google Classroom. I've done that with clients. Co-teach and role play during reading strategies where we are given on the spot feedback, mastering reading standards, mastering data analysis, creating effective assessments, and so much more. And so, in addition to those, there's also monthly challenges where you will be able to have one-on-one feedback from me. So those challenges include like things like lesson plans, video feedback, all kind of, monthly challenges to keep you updated and excited, and also give you the opportunity to receive more feedback. And then there's also 24/7 access to me via the app Voxer. Voxer is the app for Kurte uses it, in which I get to talk to my clients. I'm just now seeing you just message me since we've been on. Since we have been on, I'm just now seeing yours for Kurte. Awesome. Let me answer your question because this just happened since we've been on. But yes, So 24/7 access to me via Boxer for Curte. Let me answer your question. I love it. I love it. You said you want to remain in the program. Do you need to re-register? No, you do not. You are in. You said you want to keep learning and growing as a teacher and as a mom. Oh, I love it. I love it. Whoop, whoop. Jay Wilson, hands in the air. I love it. Thank you. So once you are in, you are in. So you could continue to remain. We could continue to work, work and grow together. So you are in. It is not going away. You don't even have to do anything to re-register. We'll just continue working together as we already are. So no re-registering is needed. So yes, you're in, you're in, you're in, you're good, you're locked and loaded. Everything is still in the portal. Once you do the one, working with me and having the 24/7 access to me, like for Curte notes, there's a portal that all my one-on-one clients get, and that has all of our recorded calls. Things like, for example, on those one-on-one calls that we do, which for Curte, we have to do our one-on-one call like now. I'm like, wait, we got to do ours like now. So go ahead and book your call for January. Go ahead and book your call for January. But within these calls, like for example, if we're doing a teaching schedule, because I know I just did that recently. If we're doing a teaching schedule and we work on it with our call, then there's a portal in which I will send all of our notes and everything we worked on. Well, like for Curte, she works one-on-one with me. She has access. You said this. Thank you, Aja. Woo, woo. I love it. I love it. So yes, everything's in the portal. And so as long as you continue to stay a member, you have access to everything we've ever worked on during our one-on-one calls, all the notes, all of the one-on-one videos. And for those that know me, I'm an over deliverer. So yes, our calls are supposed to be 60 minutes, but they normally go to 90. They normally always go to 90 because I want to make sure that you leave with whatever the task was completed. And so you'll get more than like you always say, you over deliver. But yes, because I'm so excited. I want this is why I do this for Curte. Like you're like, I want to keep growing and learning as a teacher and a mom. And so I love that. I love that. I love helping you, and I'm so excited to help you. And so I'm glad that you want to stay in the program. Yes, you are good. You do not, girl, you are we are good. We are good. You are good. Just book your next call. I'm excited to continue to work with you even further. And your children. I mean, hey, I'm excited. In addition to that, when you upgrade to the one-on-one, you do get a bonus kickoff goal setting call in which we will set your individualized goals. Um, and you might want to say, okay, well, why would I work with you? Well, these are just a few screenshots of reasons to work with me. And like, I mean, there's on time feedback. We have a person that is doing the one-on-one that wants to continue to grow. And so, hey, I could not have said it better myself. But other things that people have said is that I inspire them, always have a positive attitude, willing to go the extra mile, my professionalism. I always come on each call prepared. They're able to communicate with me in between our coaching sessions using the Voxer app. That I gave them confidence and guidance to keep going. That I'm more than qualified. That my energy is infectious. That I'm open and honest. I mean, I'm gonna keep it 100. And they felt like I was invested in their children's progress. Well, I want to show y'all Charlotte, because you might be on here like, I'm not even a teacher. I'm someone else. And this is Charlotte, and we actually did a YouTube video on here. She was on my channel because her growth was it needed to, her story needed to be told, okay? But she's actually a lawyer, no teaching experience in the background. She just had a daughter that really needed her help. In fact, she was struggling understanding, what her daughter needed. She felt stuck, she felt confused, and she was in that phase. And and working with me, her daughter went from not liking to read into loving to read, bringing her multiple books every day. Not only that, before her daughter was really struggling when it comes to language, but now her language skills improved dramatically. She was now reading predictable text and modeling reading behavior with no reading experience, what's teaching experience whatsoever. Her daughter went from an 18% being in the 18th percentile to the 36th percentile in simply 6 months, and she has no experience. Today and today only, there is a fast action bonus for those that jump on this. You will get an additional one-on-one personalized consulting call, whether you upgrade or not. A bonus call will be given unto you. And so you might be saying, okay, what's the price for the upgrade? Aja, what's the price for the upgrade? Well, for the less than a Chick-fil-A meal, because that's my favorite place where I'm all of my Chick-fil-A lovers, because I go to Chick-fil-A like every day, y'all. I'm addicted. I'm addicted. I'm addicted. But for less than your Chick-fil-A meal, this can be. Where did my screen go? Where did my face go? Oh, wait, there we go. I don't know what just happened. I think I took my face out. I took my face out. I took my face out. But for less than a Chick-fil-A meal, you can have the upgrade and have that step-by-step tutorial, somebody that can walk you through. Not only that, the accountability. A lot of my clients that have worked one-on-one with me, they're like, the accountability is what I needed. I just needed the accountability partner. I needed somebody that can check in with me, because we could literally check in like one-on-one like this. It gives you that accountability partner, or somebody one like me. I always start and stop, start and stop, start and stop something. And now I've been working out for 2 months, but before this, I haven't worked out in 6 years. 6 years, 6 years. I went 6 years of not working out, and now I'm working out. And after 6 years of not doing it, the only way I can do it for 2 months is because I had to hire a trainer. I said I need the accountability. I need somebody that can keep me on my P's and Q's and walk me through the process. I need somebody that I can learn from and grow from. And so you can have this for over $9,000 value. That's over $800 a month. But no, I'm not charging that much. Nowhere near. In fact, I'm giving you access to me one-on-one just right now while the doors are open for simply $197 a month. And if you buy 10 months up front, then you get 2 months free. So that's over $1,200 off. This is my lowest price ever. In fact, most educational consultants, this is their month just for one session. Yet you're getting the entire course, all the bonuses, the one-on-one calls, the challenges, and you're even getting access to me 24/7. So look, you can't go wrong with this decision. You cannot go wrong. It's just figuring out what works best for you. You have the Teaching by Design membership only, and Teaching by Design membership with the consulting. And so both come with the modules, both come with the monthly reading trainings, both come with the templates, the worksheets, both come with read aloud trainings, both come with the professional development certificates, both come with the 2 monthly interactive support calls, both come with the vault of reading trainings, both come with the new monthly digital products, both comes with the 10% off physical products. I mean, you can't go wrong. But if you upgrade, then you also receive monthly one-on-one consultation calls, monthly challenges, monthly one-on-one feedbacks, and also you also get a bonus kickoff call and 24/7 access to me only with the upgrade. So that's one of the benefits for the upgrade by itself. That's the only way you can get all that extra support is through the upgrade. So that's the only little difference in that. Um, and so let's the link, I'm putting the link down below in the chat box for those that are like, okay, yes, I'm ready to join. How can this be me. I want to be like for Kurte. I want to learn. I want somebody to hold my hand. I'm ready to grow. I'm ready to create a life I enjoy, not only for myself, but my children at home and even my students. I want high growth without the overwhelm and the stress. And Aja, I'm ready for you to show me how to implement this art framework into my life. I'm here to tell you this program is for you. If you are tired of being overwhelmed, if you are ready for that change, you're tired of being frustrated and you're ready to make a difference, you're ready to break out of the norm, and you're ready to get off this hamster wheel that you feel like you're on. Does somebody feel like they're on that hamster wheel of doing the same thing over and over again, yet it seems like it's just not working? Well, it's time to get off of that hamster wheel, and I'm ready to show you how to do it. This also is for you if you need an experienced accountability partner to walk you through the program, then that extra upgrade is for you. This is not for you if you're content doing what you're doing. You don't mind spending the extra hours. You don't mind being overwhelmed. You don't mind being burnt out. You don't even want to try new things. You're like, hey, I want to sit and do what I'm already doing. Remember, today and today only, you get access to the fast action bonus, which is the one-on-one personalized consultation call. And I'm going to throw in a right now bonus only for today. In fact, if you're on my email list, you don't even know about this yet. So those watching live, whoop, whoop, you get access to this only for right now while I'm doing this live. If you buy right now, you also get the syllable boot camp mini course. This is more than a course, it's actually an entire curriculum. It includes trainings. It has 6 modules of trainings walking you through step by step how to teach children to decode unknown words. This is perfect if you're teaching any second through fifth grader and they're struggling with reading. It comes with classroom posters, it comes with over 36 weeks worth of lesson plans, scripted lesson plans. So you don't even have to think about teaching. You want something that's automatic, here you go. You don't even have to do anything. The lessons are done for you. You have the flashcards you need. You have an interactive notebook for your children. You have, I mean, everything you need to teach a second through fifth grader how to decode unknown words using explicit, systematic teach phonics instruction. This entire course is yours, but only if you buy right now. So in addition to the fast action bonus of the one-on-one personalized call, you also have a right now bonus as well. And this is Bonnie. She says that teaching by design is more than just a reading system, it's a whole experience. In fact, she it has helped her, and I gotta look at this screen because my eyes, she said it's helped her analyze and shape her thoughts. It has encouraged her, and she's now more intentional about her teaching techniques. She loves implementing and building tried and tested and true activities to build the practices that already work for her children. And she was in a well, she's still in the program, but she's a veteran teacher. She had been teaching pre-K for years, but yet this program showed her how to really use standards and create fun, effective activities in seconds using those standards. And she said it helps her utilize her standards with ease. She's able to do this in a very fun way by the implementation of learning games. And it just makes teaching easier. It says not only that it reignited her passion for teaching, she says that it has so much value and so many useful freebies because every training gives you also everything you need to implement the best reading practices, giving her the time back to do other things. Remember, I said it's all about creating a life that is worth living, a life that you enjoy. We enjoy, most of us don't get into education or even homeschooling if we don't want to make a difference. And so we go into this wanting to make a difference, yet we can do so without losing ourselves. We can do so without the stress and without the overwhelm. So with her, not only that, she's able to teach smarter, not harder, and with the confidence and success that she needs. In fact, not just Bonnie has experienced this transformation for herself and her children. She was like, hey, I see that it benefited not only me, but also my children benefited, as well. They're able to master standards in a very easy and effective way without the overwhelm. Well, to have another client, Tangela, who experienced the same type of transformation, and she's a full-time homeschool mom. She teaches her son all day long. And she, before working with me, she said she felt lost and she just didn't know where to begin. She was at that phase of feeling stuck, not knowing the how to teach, what to teach, and where to teach. She was like, I just felt stuck. I was implementing all of these things that I saw on the internet, but I did not have a path. I did not have a direction. I did not know where to go. And joining Teaching by Design, she said, was the best decision she had ever made. She went from struggling with confidence for herself. She actually started second guessing, feeling like she was about to stop homeschooling her son and send him to public school. Much like Keisha that I showed you earlier, she was at that pivotal place like something has to give. And as soon as she started working in Teaching by Design, she said she now knows what to teach with her son. And I allowed her and helped her to get that confidence that she needed to keep going. That transformation that she received for herself is something that allows her to create a life that she thoroughly enjoys, a life that she feels confident in, that she can continue to go forward with. She said her son, not only did she see the transformation in herself, but her son went from not liking to read, not being engaged in reading, to enjoying story time. I told y'all that interactive read aloud training, it gets them every time. It gets children excited and eager to read. She said he enjoyed reading his and doing his letters because, like I said, math is also included. She said the course is very detailed, and she now understands not only how to teach, but also how to make teaching fun. You might also be a working mom who feels like, hey, how can this fit in my schedule? Hey, I'm a working mom now, and so was Shamika. And as a working mom implementing these same strategies, she was struggling with working from home. With her full-time job, she's not a teacher, but her daughter also needed some instruction. Her daughter needed to learn too. And she said with hers, creating that weekly schedule for at-home learning was the thing that kind of was the catalyst in her instruction. Her daughter, she con- fixed a mistake, which was inconsistently teaching. And when creating that schedule, getting rid of that roadblock, it allowed her to have consistency with at-home teaching. And then her daughter's like whole life transformed before her eyes, and her daughter began to enjoy reading as she implemented just simply the interactive read alouds. She saw her daughter make a massive change in less than 10 days. Her biggest thing was the schedule. She needed that schedule change. That was the thing that she needed. And so the great thing about this program is that it doesn't matter where you are, it doesn't matter if you're teaching full time, if you're homeschooling after your kids get off of school, or where this program, the way it's designed, it can help you no matter where you are. If you just have a passion for teaching, I can show you how to do it in a very simple and simplistic way. And the best thing, there's no risk. There's a 48-hour money back guarantee, and because it's a membership, you can cancel at any time. So you literally don't have anything to lose. As soon as you enroll, you can expect to receive an exciting email from me. Hey, welcome you into the course of membership. You'll receive instant access into Teaching by Design. We'll meet 3 times live each and every month on Zoom. So it's a much more intimate settings in which we'll have our interactive support calls, our reading professional development trainings. Like for Kurte said, she was like, hey, the trainings and workshops are amazing, and they get the time to not only learn, but to also practice and implement the best practices for that month. In addition to that, you'll receive instant access to the entire vault of all of the research-based trainings. So all the trainings on fluency and reading trainings that you've missed in the past, you have access to all of it. In addition to If You Act Right Now, I'm also throwing in my syllable bootcamp course. That is an entire course with trainings. It's an entire curriculum. I mean, you don't even have to do anything. It's an entire curriculum with scripted lessons. Come on now. Flashcards, scripted lessons, interactive notebooks. I'm throwing that in there as well. And you'll also receive monthly access to new digital games, posters, worksheets, curriculum documents, and so much more. And if you upgrade and invest in the one-on-one consulting, we will kick off our call where we will determine when we meet individually. Now, you might be a veteran teacher like Vicky is, and she had been teaching over 20 years. And for the first time, she received a negative score on her evaluation. She said she was ashamed, hurt, and disappointed. And with working with me, she felt that I was innovative, caring, and very knowledgeable of the curriculum. And I took the time out to model how to actually teach. And after she was, went through the trainings and learned, and practiced, she said she earned higher scores on her evaluations. And not only that, I'm telling y'all, it's a transformation for both you and your children. Not only that, her children received an increase of 50% in their reading scores using the iReady assessment. So her children's reading scores literally doubled. And she's like, what? I got better as a teacher and my children got better, became better readers. Like, this is crazy. She said that I do all things with fidelity and a positive attitude. And so it doesn't matter if you're brand new to teaching, a lawyer like Shyla, or even a veteran teacher like Vicky. This course, this program, it's not even just a course, it's a program. Like Bonnie said, it's a whole experience, can change your life. A few of the questions that you may have, and like I said, you can join down below in the comments. You will see how to join. But Teaching by Design is focused on reading and math simply because the framework that I teach you, that ARF framework, the rollout of the ARF framework is so powerful. You could include it in both subject areas and create the system of having automatic reading instruction and math instruction in your classroom. In addition to that, those monthly bonuses and the monthly trainings are more reading focused, and they're particularly focused on reading best practices. The other important thing that to know is that you can only join while the doors are open. So I'm not going to open the door anymore this year. So you would have to wait all the way into next year. So if you're on the fence, just do it. Like I said, you can cancel at any time, but you cannot join at any time. And you also cannot upgrade until the doors open again. So once you're in, you're in. Like what's Forget saying, once you're in, but you cannot upgrade unless the doors are open. So if you're on the fence, like, well, do I do the first part or the second part? I'm here to tell you, you can only upgrade while the doors are open. And then if you want to know who this is for any pre-K through fifth grade teacher or homeschool parent. Even if you are a working homeschool parent, that is still a homeschool parent. I'm a working homeschool parent, meaning I work all day long, and then I teach my daughter when she comes home. So my daughter actually is in school and does homeschooling with me. Feel free to drop any questions you may have down below in the chat box. I'm here to answer them. Also, when you go to the Teaching by Design page, you will see in the bottom right hand corner it says chat with me or chat with us or message me. It says something like that. But if you can enter a question directly in there as well if any additional questions pop up as you are looking into the program. And you can always just reach out and get in touch with me on Instagram, on my website, or even via email, and also down below in the chat box. I mean, I'm here for you. Okay? I'm here for you. And so, what are your next steps? Of course, comment. Let me know what are your reactions, even to today's live, and also join Teaching by Design. Remember, there's a fast action bonus of today only. You will receive an additional one-on-one consultation call, and if you act right now, like now while we are still live, I will also throw in my syllable boot camp course. That entire course by itself is worth you joining. I mean, like the entire course in and of itself is worth joining, especially if you teach second through fifth grade. It has everything you need, especially for those that are starting off science of reading and you're like, I don't even know what this is. I'm telling you, I'm telling you, I'm telling you. So, what are your next steps? Join Teaching by Design. Once again, if you have any questions, you know how to reach me. You can also drop it down below in the chat box. Thank you so much for tuning in live. I appreciate you for Kurte for being in the program and continuing to learn and continuing to grow. I'm so glad you want to continue because we have a lot of progress to keep making. I'm so excited. I love helping you guys. Like I said, I started this so that I can help the little mini version of myself as a struggling reader. I can help that child, but I can also help that young teacher version of myself implement the same systems that I learned without the same stress and pain that I went through and that I see so many other people go through. So I cannot wait to welcome you into the program. I cannot wait until you're like, hey, Teaching by Design fan, whoop, whoop. And I also celebrate each and every new person on Instagram. So once you join, follow me on Instagram so that you can receive your shout out. Whoop, whoop, whoop. And I will see you guys in the program. Bye.